All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be getting into a video from the Daily Caller, and it's titled MSNBC's Katie Tur suggests John Fetterman for president. As you see on the screen, also there is former White House press secretary Jen Psaki. All right, so we're about to get into this. I saw John Fetterman in his debate against Dr. Oz, and I saw nothing. I heard nothing that made me think he would be a good president. But I want to hear what they have to say about this. So don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Now let's get into it, you guys.
Fetterman as a nominee at some point for president. I know there's some variables, obviously.
Yeah.
John Fetterman did, first of all, so much better with white, non-college educated voters. Better than Biden, better than Trump. So he ran ahead of both of them.
He ran everywhere in the state, which is a lesson for Democrats. He left no stone unturned, and he ran as exactly who he is. I mean, I have no doubt that if John Fetterman were sitting here, if he were in a bar, if he were with his family in a restaurant, he'd be exactly the same person.
Now, John Fetterman ended up beating Dr. Oz. It was a very close race. It was something like 49% to 48%. Now, people watching may be surprised by that. And, you know, if you don't live in Pennsylvania, it might not affect you. But they're talking about pitching him as a president. So, you know, in 2024, you know, he could be a possible president. We know they don't have a lot of favorable candidates to run. So they picking at anything they could get.
And voters completely see through that. So that is also a lesson for Democrats, too. This is a guy, you know who he is, you know what you're getting, and that ultimately matters in politics.
Fetterman as a nominee at some point for president. I know there's some variables, obviously. Just a few. But I just, you know, what he did in the super red, deep red parts of Pennsylvania and the way that he ran ahead of Biden, as you were saying, ran ahead of Trump. I mean, it just makes you wonder about his future.
Yeah.
John Fetterman kind of.
That don't sound too confident. They don't sound like they really backing him 100%, and I don't blame them. But I think it's interesting to understand like what's most important to the American people. You know, if they watched the debate and they heard Dr. Oz and John Fetterman talk about each topic, Dr. Oz, you know, he articulated himself a lot better. I think he had a better plan for the people of Pennsylvania. But again, that doesn't affect me, and that's not my state. But it just goes to show, like, I wonder what's more important. What did Dr. Oz lose? Would Dr. Oz have been more favored if he was a Democrat? You know, did John Fetterman get votes because people voted against a Democrat? You know, what was more important? Abortion? Was it inflation? You know, I really want to know what's important to the voters, because getting things done should be what's important. And if that's not what's most important, then I don't think that's a good thing. The economy, getting things done, being efficient, I think those are some of the most important things we need out of a president.
Oozed authenticity. Yeah. He was who he was. He dressed how he dressed. He was comfortable in his own skin. Meanwhile, we had coup d'etats. And then, maybe the biggest sin of all, the Sunday before the election, or Saturday before the election, he makes reference to people, Oz does, in Pennsylvania. He says, go out and find 10 voters before the Steelers game tomorrow. The Steelers had a bye. They didn't even play the next day. He didn't even know the Steelers' schedule.
We all have to make sure that everyone that works is able to, that's the most American bargain, that if you work full-time, you should be able to live in dignity as well, true. And I believe they haven't have any businesses being you can't have businesses being subsidized by not paying individuals that just simply can't afford to pay their own way.
You're saying tonight that you support fracking, that you've always supported fracking, but there is that 2018 interview that you said, quote, I don't support fracking at all. So how do you square the two?
I do support fracking, and I support fracking, And I stand and I do support fracking.
You have not released your detailed medical records surrounding your stroke. Mr. Fetterman, will you pledge tonight to release those records in the interest of transparency? You have 60 seconds.
No. To me, for transparency is about showing up. I'm here today to have a debate. I want
to just touch on this really quickly. I know Biden is a lot older than John Fetterman, but we're living it out current day to see a president in office who isn't, cognitively there 100%. They were asking for Biden's medical records and they're asking for his records. But the point I'm trying to make is we seen what happens when you put someone in office, who isn't 100% there. I mean, the guy had a stroke. It's not, I don't want to blame him for having a stroke, but he had a stroke. And I think that's something that more people, need to consider. Me personally, if I was to vote for him, I would have liked to see his medical records, just to at least know that he's medically cleared to hold the position of office that he wants to go for, especially if he wants to be a president. He's gonna have to cough those medical records up.
Speeches in front of 3,000 people in Montgomery County, all across Pennsylvania, big crowds. I believe if my doctor believes that I'm fit to serve, and that's what I believe is appropriate. And now with 2 weeks before the election, I have run a campaign and I've been very transparent about being very open about the fact we're in use captioning. And I believe that, again, my doctors, the real doctors that I believe in, they all believe that I'm ready to be served.
Follow up, I didn't hear you say you would release your full medical records. Why not? You have 30 seconds.
No. Again, my Dr. L believes that I'm fit to be serving, and that's what I believe is where I'm standing.
So his answer pretty much is that the doctor said I'm okay, so that's it. That's it for me. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest here, guys. If John Fetterman was to run for president, it's some variables, right? If he makes it through, if he makes it through on the Democratic side, let's just say, hypothetically, to challenge Trump, I personally think he gets smashed. But the Democratic Party, I will say, is extremely loyal. They'll vote for someone. They might not even know what he has to offer, what he's talking about, but they'll vote for someone just because he isn't that other someone. You know what I mean? They'll vote for blue against red just out of sheer loyalty from the parties. So anything could happen. Like I said, this may not affect you now, but it could be affecting you in the future. The Democratic Party does not have a lot of great candidates to run for president in 2024, unless some people start popping up out of the blue. We don't want to see Hillary. We don't want to see Barack. I don't even think people in the Democratic base want to see those people ran again. So yeah, that was it for the video. I don't know what happened here. It just went black. But yeah, that was it for the video, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on your way out the door. Let me know what you want to see next in the comments down below. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.